Hello, welcome. Welcome to the 6th Business Forum. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I would like to welcome and greet everyone. So, dear Ambassador, Ms. Charlotte Samlin, distinguished speakers and guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second module of the 6th Greece-Sweden Business Forum, virtual version. As we have mentioned, we have adapted our traditional live annual forum to an online session. My name is Rania Patsiopoulos. I'm the president of the Hellenic-Swedish Chamber of Commerce. And the Hellenic-Swedish Chamber of Commerce works towards creating a platform for bilateral cooperation between our two countries, Greece and Sweden. Our chamber has been operating over 30 years in Greece, and we have over 100 members, and of which 33 are Swedish companies in Greece for many years. Many have been in Greece for over 90 years, we could say. So the theme of this 6th Business Forum is Greece leaping into a sustainable future. We had our first virtual module in December, and today we're going into our second module, which is Greece in the digital era. We have pulled together a wide panel of speakers to the show, and to show the digital transformation of Greece and the revolutionary changes of the 5G technology and the networks that it brings. The potential of the potential economic impact of 5G is already widely known. In this module, we will introduce 3 areas of smart digital initiatives. From Sweden, we have a smart city concept from Stockholm, where we will have Lydia Partheni and Eva Staten present insights and experiences from Smart City Sweden. From Greece, we have the recently newly launched Festos Fund, where Mr. Zorzakakis will present the Pan-European pioneering investment platform for 5G, and this is expected to shake up the data and putting Greece on the world map of services and applications. Thirdly, from Greece, as a third initiative, we have the Smart Factory, where 5G's impact on manufacturing significantly can enhance the digital capabilities in the manufacturing process. All collaborators of this Smart Factory project initiative will be sharing their story of synergy and transformation. And so in this project, we have the companies of Calpac, Giselis, Ericsson, and Cosmote, with Mr. Kostis Konstantinidis, Evangelos Giselis, Maria Boura, Dimitris Alpeos on the panel discussion. Our moderator today will be Ms. Maria Nicolotsiou, and coming as a journalist from Alpha TV, and she will coordinate the discussions going forward. Also, unfortunately, due to urgent emergency situation at the Ministry of State and Digital Governance, the minister unfortunately had to decline his attendance today, and so we will not be having a representative. So I would first like to start with a big thank you to our sponsors for this event, and you will see some of the videos played by them. Intrum, Cosmote, Ericsson, Velum, SKF, Sarakakis group of companies for supporting our event today. Now, I would like to welcome to the virtual floor Her Excellency, Ambassador Samlin, Charlotte.
Thank you very much, Rania. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, and my dear Team Sweden, it's a pleasure to give these opening remarks of this second module of the yearly business forum. I think it's been a very successful split, because it would be too much digital if we would have the whole conference online for a whole day, or almost a whole day like we used to have. Well, in our Team Sweden, we know very well how important it is to advance the digital transformation, and I believe that this is an area for Greece and Sweden to continue deepening its relation. And the in-depth cooperation that we have over the last years. We have been pushing for this agenda now and this cooperation for 3 years. And one accomplishment is, of course, the business forum we had 2 years ago, which focused on the prerequisites for a successful digital transformation. If we look a bit on the global stage, we have seen a dramatic transformation over the last 25 years. And today we have more than 4.5 billion people, approximately 60% of the world population connected. So the internet has become the lifeblood of our economies. It's driving innovation and technological progress. The world is advancing digitally, and Europe has to keep up. In this global race, progress in Greece and Sweden depends on the cooperation in the European Union. And the EU needs to be strategic and geopolitical in its considerations, because we must invest and create the required ecosystem. So here's where countries like Greece can make a very good use of the EU's Recovery and Resilience Facility, which aim it is to boost the economic situation in the aftermath of the pandemic. And in Greece's case, the economic hardship has been going on for quite some time, because the full recovery from the economic crisis still needs to take place. The use of digital tools has been accelerated by the pandemic. So has also the ways in which governments, businesses and individuals consider digital transformation. And there are many debates ongoing now about cybersecurity, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and its potential impact on jobs. Debates around 5G have shown how geopolitics, technology, and environmental concerns mix in an unprecedented way. The result is that digital transformation is now seen as a critical concern by all stakeholders. We have a unique year behind us. The physical world saw social distancing as norm, while the digital world went ballistic, with nearly 1 million new internet users added every day. So internet usage grew at an unprecedented rate, both in data volumes and in practical applications. Now we travel rapidly from one continent to another. A new world emerges where internet brings everyone closer, and we conduct work and study remotely, socialize and interact in online meetings. We consult the doctor online, we use the platform economy, we shop, and we have cultural experiences. So now the question is for all our countries, is the network ready for the next phase? And here I would like to draw your attention to the Network Readiness Index. The Network Readiness Index report assesses how countries are leveraging information and technologies to be ready for the future. Now, I am proud to say that Sweden scores the first place in this index, and it's due to our capability to take advantage of possibilities offered by digitalization. Sweden is at the top of it because of its strong all-around performance in technology, because of adopting and investing in future technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, and 5G. Also because of our performance in the impact. And this impact is being boosted by the advanced digital economy and the society. And also the performance in people and governance as a result of high levels of trust, progressive regulations, excellence in ICT, and skills. So how did we end up here? Briefly, it's due to our comprehensive cooperation between public and private sector. as well as involving all other stakeholders in the society, like universities, trade unions, employers' organizations, etc. So we all joined forces in developing and pushing for skills, applied research, constructing test beds, investing in infrastructure and e-governance. And our long-term goal is to strengthen our competitiveness and innovation ability, because we must create new jobs nowadays. We must also think about the welfare, and we must create smart solutions for a sustainable society. So if we just once again look at the global situation for a while, today about 55% of the world's population live in cities. In 30 years, the forecast is that approximately 7% of the world population will live in cities. And by linking digitalization and sustainability, we create the conditions for a sustainable society. Managing resources and operations of so many large cities can only be cost-effective and efficient if they are automated and connected. This is the basic principle of smart cities. The creation of smoother and safer living through a gradual digital transformation is happening now in Sweden. We connect streets, buildings, public and personal devices. Of course, this will collect a lot of data. And this massive amount of data generated by these sensors that we place must then be communicated, analyzed, and fed back to the infrastructure to affect changes in the operations of smart cities. The deployment of 5G is the defining technology of smart cities. It enables technology of Internet of Things, and smart cities essentially rely on Internet of Things to function. So 5G and smart cities are inextricably linked. And I think that today's speakers are going to show this. And I'm extremely happy to see the program. I think we have excellent participants, and they can push forward the digital transformation so much needed in Greece. And from Team Sweden, we are here to assist. We are ready to push forward this agenda together with you in any possible way. So I thank you very much, Chairperson Rania Patriopoulou, for sharing today until we have the moderator coming in, also a very distinguished moderator. And I'm looking forward very much to listen to the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I would say very impressive. The areas that Sweden has really evolved on in the area of digital transformation, and it's just highlighting how much more important it is that we collaborate as countries and create a liaison for Greece and Sweden to exchange and share. So joining forces will be really critical here. And now I'd like to move on and introduce the moderator for today, Maria Nicolțiu, who's our journalist.
Thank you.
Malta.
Thank you. I don't know actually Swedish. The only thing I know in Swedish, if I pronounce it well, is jag älskar dig. So let me stick with my English. I think my English is better than my Swedish.
Bravo.
Thank you very much. And I hope we'll have a very interesting discussion. And let's start with our first story. I'm used to talk about stories. Since I'm a journalist, let's start with our first topic. And our first topic is the newly launched Festos Fund. And on behalf of Festos Fund, we have together with us Mr. Adonis Georgiakakis, the CEO of 5G Ventures Festos Fund. And before giving you the floor, I have to say that Mr. Georgiakakis has a very impressive CV. He has worked for 23 years in multinational technology and telecommunication companies abroad and in Greece. And during his service as the Secretary General for Telecommunication and Post of the Ministry of Digital Governance, he strongly contributed to the acceleration of the digital transformation of Greece. So he knows this story, he knows his topic, and without further delay, we would like to hear your story, and you have the floor. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Maria. I would like also to sincerely thank the hosts for having me here. I was thinking how to start our story, as you said, and I was thinking that the most important part is to say just the following. We entered the lockdown with 4G in Greece, and we are moving out from the lockdown with 5G services already launched in the country. As you know, we have till December already commercial launch of our 5G services in the country, which is one of the main achievements, I think, of the country, of the national effort for moving Greece ahead and having Greece as a forerunner and not as a laggard, as a digital laggard that we used to be characterized. I will have my story articulated in three major pillars. The first one is why 5G. The second will be what are we going to do with 5G in the national strategy, but also during also through Festos Fund. And the third one will be how are we going to achieve these things. Very quickly, I would like to discuss about the why we believe so much in 5G, why there was a clear national strategy on boosting 5G. We have the insights. We have the insights saying that the disruption of the traditional models of all the industries in the world will be through the 5G infrastructure and the relevant services. This is a main belief that will come true for the years to come. And we believe that the 5G infrastructure and the relevant services of 5G will be the catalyst of this change. If we would like to codify this why pillars, we would say that we have four major beliefs. The first one is that, as you know, 5G will not be another G. 5G will bring us unprecedented wireless connectivity. It will bring the extra low latency element, the massive sessions element, and of course, speeds that are coming to the gigabit level. All of these network characteristics will be simultaneously. This means that we construct through 5G a powerful connectivity layer. This is the first insight. The second insight is that the adjacent technology revolutions like cloud computing, like artificial intelligence, or big data, all these three major ICT revolutions will create a dominant platform layer. And the platform layer on top of the 5G practically will unleash real-time analysis and decision-making potential. So the combination of the connectivity layer and this platform layer of ICT will create unprecedented capabilities for the industries and for the companies. The third one, the third insight is that 5G will be, we assume it will be much more relevant on the B2B services rather than on B2C. So it will be much more relevant on industrial services, on different industries, and less on the consumer side. This, of course, it's the first time in a cellular network that this happens, and that's why it's so important. And this is the connection that the 5G is bringing to the productivity metrics of the companies. And the fourth one is practically the sum of all the above, that the fourth industrial revolution is this outcome, is the outcome of the power connectivity layer through 5G, of the cloud, big data, and artificial intelligence, ICT techs, and the B2B applications of all these things that we said. All this ecosystem creates practically the fourth, what we call the fourth industrial revolution. So these are the core beliefs that we have, and these give us the actual why are we moving forward with 5G? Why do we believe so much on 5G? Now, I would like also to give you some data regarding a study, a recent study that we did for Greece, trying to identify what will be the benefit for the Greek economy or for the Greek companies or even for the Greek citizens if we apply the 5G investments as we have said. So, in a nutshell, what this study shows, it shows that for 10 years, the period of time of the study was 10 years. The outcome is that from 5G, we will have an investment envelope of 1.2 billion euros up to 1.5 billion euros. These are direct investments coming from the network rollout. We are going to have 2.7 billion up to 5 billion euros of investment for the industries. These are the beneficiaries that have to invest on infrastructure in order to utilize 5G. So we have a range, these two ranges, from 1.2 to 1.5 for network and 2.7 up to 5 billion for the industries. This will be the direct investments for the next 10 years in Greece, assuming the 5G deployment. What will be the benefit? The benefit, as resulted from the study, was that the value added, the gross value added for the Greek economy will be from 7.3 billion euros up to 12.4 billion euros in 10 years. This means that in the highest end of the range, we are going to have more than 1.1 billion euros are as gross value added in the Greek economy. This is also translated to a range of 50,000 up to 69,000 new jobs, and all these are practically the establishment of the national competitiveness through 5G. What are the services or the industries that are going to be benefited from the deployment of 5G? More or less, these things are more or less anticipated and well known. We are going to have smart cities, precision agriculture. We're going to have smart mobility, smart grids for power and utilities, augmented experiences, public services, e-health, smart factories, and of course, smart ports and smart hubs. What we did in the study was try to identify the most relevant industries for Greece. What this came up? It came up that 5G can trigger economic growth for the Greek economy with specific applications on specific industry sectors. This, at the highest end of the 12.4 billion gross value added, the industries that are going to be benefited more, the first one is public sector and health. 24% of this gross value added will go to public sector and health. The second one with 18% is manufacturing. The third one is power and utilities. And the fourth one will be transport and logistics. So these four industries are assumed to be the forerunners of 5G deployment. So someone will ask, what about tourism? Tourism is also included in the study. Of course, it's a major factor for Greece, and it will have also It will be also affected by 5G, but it will not be due to its nature on the first 4 or 5 industries that will be benefited. This is what the study identified. If we go at the investment of industry, which is approximately 5 billion, as we said, at the high-end scenario, in this case, the industries with the most investment portfolio is manufacturing, is the first. The second is public sector and health. The third one will be transport and logistics, and the fourth one will be power and utilities. All these are the main industries, and all this comes to this 5 billion that we said before. And according to my opinion, in order, I don't want to give more numbers on that. I think I would like just to give the main outcome. Nevertheless, the juicy part is the following. If we identify the supply chain of 5G, we'll have a very simple model saying that we have first devices, second connectivity, third service enablement, fifth applications, sixth managed services, and seventh professional services. This is the value chain of 5G and the relevant contribution. If we would like to check which sector will have the highest growth, this no doubt is coming to applications. Applications on 5G are expected to grow 6 times more than the market that they have right now. To give you a comparison, in connectivity, so in pure connectivity services, we will have only 2 times of a growth, or in service enablement, only 2 times of growth, or in devices, as we know it, 1.5 times of growth. But on applications, it's assumed that we are going to have 6 times more growth for the 5G era. And that's why this is practically giving us the opportunity to understand that 5G is practically an ecosystem. And a major ecosystem drive are applications. Having this in the study and also documented, our main idea in the national strategy was to articulate a plan among 3 major pillars. The first one is the network. The network, we know that we have already the auction. 3 major operators had already reserved the spectrum. So they are developing right now network, and in 3 years we are going to cover 60% of the Greek population, and in 6 years, in 3 years 60%, and in 6 years we will have 94% of population coverage in Greece. So this is one part, and it's already happening, and the network is developed. The second one, as we said right now, is the applications. In order to boost the entrepreneurship and the applications development, we created the relevant Festos Fund, the 5G Ventures company, as we said. The idea was very simple. If we would like this 5G ecosystem to flourish, we would like to have innovative capital injection models in the market, moving resources to the market, coming from the auction, as we have it for the Festos Fund, to the market in order to develop the innovative services that will bring this disruption to the customers. The customers, as we said, are not only consumer, but business customers as well. So the first pillar, network. The second, services through Festos. The third pillar is what is assumed already in the RRF, the Resilience and Recovery Fund of European Union, anticipating, practically subsidizing companies to increase their digital maturity level. So the companies, the Greek companies that are operating in the country have to increase their digital mature in order to meet the new 5G era. We know that a number of Greek telecom companies are not at the level of digital savviness that we should have. There was also a recent study from OTE as well, defining this kind of thing, that we need also to subsidize and to boost Greek companies to become more digital. And by becoming more digital, they will also meet the 5G infrastructure. So these are the three pillars that already are included in the strategy, and the plans are already under development for the three cases already. What was the main idea? What are the objectives of the Greek 5G ecosystem? The objectives are very, very clear. The first one is to drive countries' digital transformation and competitiveness. This will happen by deploying 5G. The second one is to boost and attract investment in an economy multiplier like the 5G ecosystem. The third one is to formulate a profit platform for the state. So Festos Fund, it's a VC, it anticipates profitable returns, and these returns will be used in a sovereign fund like Festos. The fourth one is to facilitate the growth for the relevant business in Greece. By participating in equity, we can facilitate the growth of this business in Greece in a tangible and substantial way. And the last but not least, through another objective, the last objective but not least, is and enhance the state services. It means that the idea is to take the state services at the forefront of market benchmarks. So we will not have state services as laggards comparing with the private sector, but they will be at the same level at the same time, so they will be also more competitive. These are the five major objectives, as I told you. And just digging on that, we know that the main verticals that are to be of interest, as I said, is transportation, automobile, rail, manufacturing, utilities, grids, and healthcare. These are the main industries that we believe that they will have a benefit by 5G. The idea is that the companies that will be benefited from the funding of Festos, we call them disruption catalysts. So we believe that these companies will create the services that will disrupt the industry of their customers, and they will bring much more competitiveness in the way of doing business, in the way of communicating with their customers. So at the end of the day, increasing the competitiveness of the Greek economy. Why we believe that we can do that in Greece right now, despite the fact that we have lost a number of wagons in the train of digitalization? It's very clear. We have three major advantages here. These companies are companies that they don't, it's not necessary to have a legacy. So we don't have, by building services on 5G, it's not necessary to have a legacy 10 years before on this domain. It's a new domain, no legacy is needed. The second is that the capex is not forbidding. So a company can diversify its products and moving to the 5G services without having to spend an enormous capex that would be forbidding for the economics. And the third one is that the barriers to entry in this market were never lower. It means that you don't have existing companies that are so strong that will create practically a barrier for a new company to enter. This is not the case for the 5G. The only idea for these companies and the only solid decisions that they have to make are mainly two major decisions. The first one is decide to invest, and that's why our fund can create the capital comfort for them and to pay for this risk. And the second one is that they have to have, as management, the determination to change. So, two decisions. I change myself, so I diversify my products towards 5G, and the capital risk can be taken by having alliances on this path, which is 5G Ventures and Festos Fund. How are we going to do that? So these were the major 5 objectives with a kind of elaboration. And now, how is this going to happen? What is the strategy to do that? The strategy is to have this Festos Fund and 5G Ventures as a targeted 5G fund with clear USPs, with clear unique selling propositions. The fund is a specialized, agile, and focused fund with a private VC DNA. This means that it's not a classic sovereign fund that someone might think that it has all this rigidness of the Greek state, which is not the case in our case. The second is that how are we going to do that? This is a specialized and agile and focused fund, as we said. The second one is that we have robust and reliable state funding, and this coming from the 25% of the auction of 5G, which has already happened. It resulted 372 million, so 93 million practically are already there and having public as an anchor investor in the fund. The third one, which is a clear unique selling proposition for the fund, is a spectrum asset. What we have included in the Greek national legislation effort is that the state had already reserved specific bands of 700, 3.5 gigahertz, and 26 gigahertz for pilot use for these companies, for universities, for research and development, so they can use from the first hand asset spectrum assets for pilot use. The fourth one is that these companies can use, they have already their first customer. Who is their first customer? The state-owned companies. You know that the Greek state has a number of companies that are in the automotive sector, in the healthcare sector, in the utility sector. So these companies can be the first customers in order for the services to be applied first time in them. So, and the last one, again but not least, is that we can have also, these companies can have access to R&D facilities that can be provided by specific specialized research centers in Greece, that they can offer additional research and development facilities to these companies. So these companies will have the money through the capital injection. They will have spectrum assets for their pilot. They will have their first customer, which will be a state-owned company. And the last one, they will have also R&D facilities that they are very difficult to find. This is the actual how and the actual strategy that we built Festos around. And that's why we believe that this effort is practically already characterized as an innovation around Europe. We had already presented this to, as you know, to Commissioner Vestager. They said that really was a very innovative idea, and it was very happy for us in Greece, and we felt very proud to discover, practically, to identify that in the new templates, project templates of recovery and resilience fund that European Commission has provided to the member states, one of the few good practices that are already there in the templates is the development of this kind of innovative venture capitals for deploying the ecosystem of 5G. It was really important for us to see that we can do simple things, we can have simple thoughts, and we can implement things in Greece that they can move digital Greece from a laggard to a forerunner. For us, now the design phase was over. Now we have to implement. We have to do it really quickly. We are the first, and we have to remain first in acquiring also private capital on that. I believe that this idea will be followed from other European member states and from other companies, I would say, from the private sector. So for us, it's important to be first, to utilize our unique selling propositions and practically trying to have this investment effort really quickly and really effective for the Greek state. This was my introduction. I think that more or less I have given you the main ideas, and if someone would like to have any kind of questions, I would be here to answer if the setting is allowing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Georgiakakis. Actually, your presentation was very elaborative, and it was very important what you started with, that we enter the COVID phase with 4G when we're about to exit in 5G. The more G, the better, of course.
Exactly.
As you said, just a question from me. This is now the phase of implementation. And I would like to ask you, which are the main, if there is any, obstacles and challenges and difficulties, because we are in a difficult era and environment financially, in order to implement this very, let's say, impressive venture?
You know, there are a lot of challenges there. If you are investing and risk are practically the other side of the same coin. This is clear. I think that we have made a good start. We have a venture capital already in place in record time, I would say. We have a lot of how can we say, good impressions already from investors, from private investors. I think if we keep having a clear professional profile, if we do our job well, if we make the filtering of the companies as we should do with professional KPIs, I would say that any kind of challenge can be overcome. Of course, there are inevitably, if there are things that cannot be forecasted, like the COVID pandemic or whatever, of course, there might be another challenge. But I think that if we keep having a low profile and doing our job as we should be, the challenges can be overcome. And also, we have to keep this mentality that we have a threat like COVID, which we transform to an opportunity. I think if we have this mentality and we do our job concretely, I think that we will be in the position to overcome any challenge.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. We have a question from the audience. It's from Katerina. Can you see the question, or should I? Can you see it in the private chat? It's for tourism.
It says that why tourism practically will be benefited less than the other technology, the other industries. This was the result of the model. What we did is that we make a macroeconomy model for each one of the industries, and due to the fact that there are industries that are in urge of automation, much more like industry, like power, utility. Tourism can have a kind of digital effect, but this digital effect is not coming from a tremendous automation like 5G. This means, in other words, that tourism can be benefited also from 4G as well. So this great exponential technology step is benefiting less to this path from 4G to 5G. That's why it's the model result.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Georgiakakis. We have one more. One should be. Can you see it better? Because I don't have glasses.
When are we going to have the first investments from Festos Funds? This is a good question. The first one is the first priority for us now is to get the private money. So we are going now for fundraising, and we would like to complement the 93 million of the anchor investor, which is the state, with private investors. So after we have also private investors, we will have the fund closed. It means that all the investors will be there, and then the investment period will start. I think that in a period of 6 months, which is a rational period, we will have the fund closed with all the ammunition there, with the money, with the capital. So the filtering of companies for investment will be after 6 months and on.
Okay, let's stick with that because we are already 5 minutes late. Thank you very much, Mr. Georgiakakis, for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Answers. And at this stage, I will do what I'm used to do every day. I'm going to present 2 videos by our sponsors. It's from Intrum and from Sarakakis Volvo. Please.
We are Intrum. We lead the way. We provide credit services to help our clients improve cash flow, reduce non-payments and prosper by caring for their customers. Every day, we talk to 250,000 people in debt, and every year we assist 80,000 clients. Like Jacob in Copenhagen, he can focus on taking care of the gym, while we take care of the credit management. Or Daniel at one of the largest media companies in Switzerland. We provide new digital solutions that save him a lot of time. Here's Rika in Madrid. She's running a logistics startup and we help her build valuable relationships with her customers. We lead the way all over Europe by helping people do what they do best. Because we want to make a difference for our clients, for their customers, and for society at large.
How can we meet the climate challenge while the need for transport continues to increase? Volvo Trucks is taking another step, exploring the future of heavy-duty electric vehicles in 2 new segments: regional distribution and urban construction transports. Growing urbanization drives demand for cleaner and even more silent transport in the delivery of goods and construction of houses, roads and other infrastructure in populated areas. In Europe, Volvo Trucks has already started sales of the Volvo FL Electric and Volvo FE Electric for city distribution, waste transport and similar local assignments. In the longer term, there is potential for electric power in even more demanding applications, such as regional distribution and urban construction transports. Low noise level and reduced emissions during operation of the electric trucks contribute to a better working environment and reduced community disturbance. The number of trucks used for transportation of regional goods in Europe is vast. Around 80% of all goods in Europe is transported on trucks. More electric vehicles in this area would greatly reduce the overall climate impact of the transportation sector. With these electric concept vehicles, Volvo Trucks will explore, demonstrate and evaluate different solutions and measure the level of interest in society and the market. It is the speed of this transition that will depend on a number of factors. Large investments in charging infrastructure and electricity supply systems will be necessary. Initially, financial and operational incentives will speed up the adoption of electric commercial vehicles. Electric vehicles, charged by renewable energy sources, can mean a powerful step towards more sustainable transportation. But efficient internal combustion engines will continue to play an important role for years to come. Today's combustion engines are efficient energy converters that can run on both diesel and a variety of renewable fuels, such as liquid biogas or HVO. Simultaneously, the next 5 to 10 years will see an increase in the share of zero exhaust emission electric trucks in operation. And through this transition, Volvo Trucks aim to be a trusted partner, delivering the best transport solutions for a growing world.
Thank you. Also our sponsors. Recently, I made a test drive with a Volvo car, not with a truck. I don't drive a truck, but with a car, and I have to admit that this is experience, a Volvo experience. Okay, our story is a smart city Sweden, and everybody I think is very curious to see how to explore and smart and sustainable solution from Sweden. Apparently, a smart city is a challenge for Greece. The big question is how can we transform all our cities to smart cities? So our next speakers, we have two ladies with us, Lydia Partheni and Eva Statin. Let me start with Mrs. Lydia Partheni. Lydia is the senior project manager at the Hellenic-Swedish Environmental Research Institute, with many years experience and good knowledge within communication and business management and international projects. She is providing knowledge and contacts to smart and sustainable city solution within the Smart City Sweden project. Lydia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
So, Smart City Sweden, ladies and gentlemen, Her Excellency Charlotte Samelin, Ambassador of Sweden to Greece, dear organizers, greetings to all participants of the forum. I would like to thank the Hellenic-Swedish Chamber of Commerce and the Swedish Embassy to Greece for inviting us to this important forum, and we highly appreciate the work that has been done prior to this event. Sweden has much to offer from experience within sustainability, and I'm very pleased to be here today to share information about Smart City Sweden. Digitalization is here to stay, and we can both see this from both sides, Sweden and Greece. And we gather here today as we can see that this is an important sector for us. I would like to highlight that I think we can do more together between our countries, and I hope that today's session will be yet another step into that direction. Smart City Sweden is a state-funded initiative, a state assignment for smart and sustainable city solutions from Sweden. We welcome delegations from all over the world who are interested in investing in Swedish solutions. On our website, we showcase best practice within smart and sustainable city solutions from Sweden, as well as companies who are ready to export their solutions. Smart City Sweden is financed by the government, is coordinated by the Swedish Energy Agency, and managed by IVL, the Swedish Environmental Research Institute. Smart City Sweden demonstrates solutions within 5 focus areas. Through the platform, we coordinate incoming visits within one or several of the 5 focus areas that you can see below. It's energy, climate and environment, mobility, digitalization, urban planning, and social sustainability. And this we do together from all around Sweden, from south to north. Smart City Sweden is based on a close collaboration between governmental agencies, academia, and companies. We are operated in close collaboration with regional businesses, promoting organizations, academia, as well as private companies. And in order to do this in an efficient way and to give the best expertise that we can, we have an initiative that includes a group of 8 governmental agencies. There are the Swedish Energy Agency, Business Sweden, the Swedish Agency of Economic and Regional Growth, the Swedish Environmental Protection Agency, the Swedish Mapping, Cadastral and Land Registration Authority, the National Board of Housing, Building and Planning, the Swedish Transportation Administration, as well as Sweden's Innovation Agency. And this is that we can do and give the expertise within each of their focus areas. During 2020, we had over 2,000 visitors. And that means, of course, as we had the pandemic going on, it has only been digital visitors to our website and during webinars and meetings. And those 2,000 visitors have been among over 120 visiting groups and coming from 62 different countries. So our offer, what we can do is that we presenting visits to our 6 offices combined with technical visits. This means that in order to give the best possible solution for the delegations, we try to combine this with our regional offices that are stretching throughout Sweden. We're offering online visits, matchmaking, and pre-studies. We have on our database over 1,000 companies. We also have over 120 best practices that are showcased on our website. Those best practices are possible to visit once you have got in contact with us requesting a visit. We can offer webinars, VR experiences, and films. So, with this, I would like to say thank you very much for giving me the floor. And we would like to get in contact with you. So please do not hesitate to get in touch with us with any kind of questions that you might have. And myself, and my colleagues are looking forward to have more discussions with you and to find new areas for collaboration and cooperation between our countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lydia. And let me carry on with our next speaker. Let me introduce Eva Statting. She's a senior expert project and innovation manager at IVL, the Swedish Environmental Research Institute. For over a decade, she has been working in the interface of digital transformation, innovation management, and sustainable development. The floor, Eva, is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So let me go to my presentation. Can you see my presentation now? Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we do. It's fine.
Okay. So I would like to start with to second my colleague Lydia, that we are very honored to be invited to participate and hold presentations on this occasion. And I'm happy to use the next 10 minutes or so to share some light on a topic that is very close to heart, and that is how we can make sure that digitalization contributes to sustainable development. And hopefully this presentation will provide you with both inspiration and some food for thought, perhaps. So it's quite common that digitalization also is equated with sustainability. And I would like to start off and argue that there are risks in making the assumption that digitalization automatically contributes to sustainable development, or drawing too quick conclusions regarding how these two megatrends converge. I hope that this presentation will clarify my argument. But on that note, I would like to state that digitalization can, without a doubt, support the transition to more optimized and efficient processes and flows of materials and resources. Digitalization can also contribute to innovation and development of smart products and services. And with smart, I mean products and services that have no or minimal impact on the environment, or the ones that help us mitigate the impact. Digitalization can therefore be our most efficient tool in solving the great challenges of our time. However, it's important to differentiate between how digitalization can be a tool and support our journey to meet the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and what we mean when we talk about sustainable digitalization. The 2030 Agenda for the Sustainable Development, adopted by the United Nations member states in 2015, has helped us to set the compass and find ways to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. When striving towards these goals, digitalization is definitely one of our most important tools, both in helping us reduce our impact on the environment and to facilitate the development of sustainable societies, and when monitoring and evaluating the progress. We are many that see Industry 4.0 and the use of big data, AI, machine learning, and Internet of Things as an enabler for sustainable development. At the same time, many are finding it challenging to grasp the full potential of digitalization. Even though digital transformation is on top of the agenda for business and organizations in almost every sector, many are struggling to find the right path on their digital journey. A lot of investments and efforts are made to accelerate the digital transformation as we see a number of opportunities evolving as we become more digitally mature. Still, often I meet representatives from both the industry and the service sector that finds it difficult to prioritize and find focus on their digital strategies. In my experience, even if you're convinced that investments are needed, it can be difficult to see the real value with digitalization, especially in sectors that are considered to have a low degree of digital maturity, such as the waste management sector or the building and construction industry. However, there is a great potential to achieve the sustainability goals with the support of digitalization in this sector. One main reason to why many are struggling is because it spans so many different areas and disciplines. It's often stated that it's not the capacity of technology, but our ability to use it that is the biggest challenge of digitalization. And this can partly be explained by the fact that both opportunities and challenges needs to be met with interdisciplinary collaboration. And we, with our common silo-designed organizations, are generally not used to working across functions or disciplines. In fact, the fact that we are lacking established methods to measure what drives success when working in these cross-disciplinary initiatives add to our lacking ability to see the full potential of the enabling technology. Adding the sustainability dimensions to these challenges might not help to clear the picture. However, the Industry 4.0 revolution has just started, and there's still time to align the quick-paced technology development with the Sustainable Development Goals. So after a short background on the argumentation that stated that digitalization can be used to support sustainable development, what lies in the concept of sustainable digitalization? I find that there are 4 subcategories that can be used when breaking the concept down. And these are the aspects related to the impact from production of technology and hardware, the impact from operations and flow of data and information and data storage, the impact from applications and the use of digital products and services, and finally, the impact that all of these areas have on society. Looking a bit closer to what lies within each of these sub-areas, and I will not get into details for all of these, in this presentation only touch upon a few, you will see that there are a broad range of issues addressed in each and every one of these sub-areas. The issues ranges from life cycle assessments for the digital hardware and infrastructure to how our use of digital products and services, such as social media tools and platforms, influence our world. During the past decade, we have experienced how social media can be used both to overthrow dictatorships and to undermine our belief in democracy. For some of the issues covered by the sub-areas on the left hand, we have become well informed and can calculate the risks and estimate the costs. But in regards, we are still rather uninformed and lack knowledge if and when we want to make fact-based decisions. The need for research in each of these areas is extensive. To see that many of these areas are addressed in the current Green Deal calls within the EU and also the coming EU calls, the Horizon EU calls, is very encouraging. So this wide range of issues might make the concept of sustainable digitalization difficult to grasp. Nevertheless, now is the time to make that effort. And with this background, I would like to share some examples to add some flavor to the discussion on these topics. When giving these examples, I would like to remind you or us that our common use of digital services and mobile apps have not been around for more than a decade. Our learning curve has been steep so far. Regardless, in a very short amount of time, we have learned to appreciate quite a few of these applications, and they have become valuable assets in our daily lives. As users of digital products and services, we have become both capable and aware, and also quite picky. We know a good user experience when we see one, and we have adapted to how these applications add value to our lives by rewarding us, notifying us, and generally guiding us through our lives. Every positive user experience sets the bar for all the others and makes it a true challenge to keep up with expectations and demands, regardless of which sector and in what are the prerequisites that one has to develop a good user experience. However, generally we are not aware about how relatively new user behaviors and our dependencies on digital services impact the environment. Digital streaming services for music, such as Spotify, and TV, such as Netflix, have in just a few years totally disrupted how we consume media. That these services also have a quite large carbon dioxide footprint is not widely discussed yet. At least not if you compare it to how our general awareness regarding how traveling with airline or consuming meat have the impact on the climate. The differences in how different services affect the climate can be quite large, depending on where servers are located and the amount of images and moving media that are provided. Perhaps the next big issue for consumer movements is to demand information regarding the climate impact of various digital services. For the general consumer, it's not that easy to know, and it's therefore easy to make assumptions. We even find that researchers are surprised by the results when making comparisons with old consumption patterns and the new way of consuming, for instance, media or other streaming media, or music or other streaming media. This is a quote from a study that compared the carbon dioxide emissions from the vinyl music era when we bought vinyls that we played on stereos and the streaming music area. And I think that these intuitive assumptions goes for many, that the hidden environmental costs of today's music consumption is enormous, is not something that we are regularly aware of. Another area which is the result of the digital era is the use of sharing services. And one of the most often used sharing services is example that through creating an app with a positive user experience have managed to totally disrupt our view on taxi services is Uber. Uber is referred to in a number of different contexts as the best practice example, but they have also received criticisms. However, not much in regards of environmentally related issues. Some research has been done regarding how Uber have affected the environment, and some of this research includes the facts about the uses of the Uber services. When comparing Uber with other taxi services and taxi companies, you will find that Uber generally has a higher demand on the environmental performance of their car park. But looking a bit closer to the Uber users, you will, however, find that Uber is, instead of competing with other taxi services, mainly replacing travel by public transport, which makes ground for conclusions on the service impact on the environment and in comparison to public transport, and not comparing to other taxi services. So those are some examples that I would hope added some flavor to how digitization and can become sustainable and what we need to be aware of. I would also speak shortly about what needs to be done to make the most of the digital era if you want to consider the aspects of sustainable digitalization. And as a matter of fact, the recipe for how to drive successful digital transformation is becoming increasingly clear, and some of the main ingredients are to focus on and involve the end users, learn how to work cross-disciplinary and to find disruptive ideas and solutions, to find what's in it for me, for each and everyone that needs to be involved, and also to see the bigger picture and the implications on both individual and system level. And for me, that I worked in the interface of sustainable development, digital transformation and innovation management for several years, I find it quite rewarding that the skills and capabilities needed to succeed in all these areas are more or less the same. As I just mentioned, the success formula for digitalization, sustainable development, and innovation has many common denominators. One other success factor that I would like to mention to wrap this up is the importance of collaboration. If we make sure to strengthen the collaboration between actors and stakeholders along the entire value chain, we increase our ability to achieve success. And this goes for both incremental and more radical and disruptive innovations. And on that note, I would like to give the floor back to you, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your presentation. And it was actually a story, a big story. And it's very challenging for us also. A very simple question: how is to live in a smart city? How does, let's say, the habitants feel about it? What is the difference?
I would suppose that it's something that you don't even notice because it's smart. It's something that provides you with the information and the tools and the connections that you need without you noticing that they are there.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any questions here? Is a question from Dimitris Alpeas. There are some examples in Greece, but nowhere near the Swedish example. Also, how we can support one's of pre-study, mostly smart lighting and parking, is Dimitris' comment.
Can I say something?
Yes,
of course.
Yes.
I was just thinking that we have, as we said, one of our focus areas are digitalization, but we need to remember that digitalization is spanning all over our focus areas, and we need the digitalization in order to be smart. Because we think smart, we have the solar energy, we have the waste management, we have transportation, we have so many things that are connected in the smart city. So the digitalization is not only one area we're looking at, it's the area that needs to be overall to be able to have the smart city.
Thank you, ladies, for your presentation. And let's hope that in a few years we will talk about the Greek smart cities. Thank you very much. Actually, we have Trikala here. You have to visit Trikala. It's a very good example of smart cities. Thank you very much for your presentations.
Thank you.
And let me carry on with 2 more videos, please.
Increasing demands on plant performance puts increasing pressure on machinery. To avoid unnecessary downtime, equipment needs to be monitored more often. As less time and resources are available for manual walkarounds, automation is crucial. Now there's a new way from SKF to achieve reliable rotation, powered by cloud-based IoT solutions and AI-driven analytics. And a new way to purchase it, reducing your risk of investment, accelerating improvements in the efficiency and effectiveness of your maintenance program, and moving your funding from capital expenditure to operational expenditure. As a first step in this journey, you can now replace manual walkarounds with a scalable network of wireless SKF Enlight Collect IMX1 sensors to monitor semi-critical and balance of plant machines. Automated machine monitoring lets you collect more data from more machines by measuring intervals of days or hours rather than intervals of months or weeks. It also makes monitoring possible even in hard-to-reach, dangerous or remote locations. With IMX1 sensors, you can reduce installation costs and get a quick and scalable deployment, and quickly gain better insights into your plant assets and avoid impending plant failures before they occur. And when you need expert advice, you can connect to SKF knowledge located in our global network. SKF Enlight Collect IMX1, automating machine monitoring for reliable rotation.
$2G, 3G, 4G. They've all revolutionized the way we live our lives. And Ericsson has been leading the way. So when it comes to 5G, it's easy to think it's just another G. Well, it's not. So what does this mean for you? 5G will reduce latency to a minimum, making delays virtually impossible to perceive. It means elevating reality even further. And with network slicing technology, every connected service can get its own unique part of a 5G network. Fully dedicated and guaranteed for each specific purpose. It means the Internet of Things on an industrial scale. Making society more sustainable, increasing resource efficiency, connecting vehicles to get there both faster and safer. With Ericsson's leading 5G technology paving the way, the full potential of connectivity is becoming reality. Join us. Let's explore 5G.
Okay, let's carry on with our next story. And our next story is Smart Factory Greece, the digital synergy, which is also a big challenge. Let me welcome Mr. Kostis Konstantinidis, CEO of Kalpak.
Hello.
Kalispera, welcome. Mr. Evangelos Gizelis, CEO of Gizelis Robotics.
Good evening to all.
Mrs. Maria Boura, Director, Government and Industry Relations and Innovation of Ericsson Hellas. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
And Mr. Dimitris Alpeas, Senior Manager, B2B Fixed and Core and Connectivity Services, OTE Group. Welcome to you.
Good evening to everybody.
Okay, we have more, let's say, 35 minutes. We have very well organized our questions, but let's try to make it more interactive. I'll try to give it about, let's say, 35 minutes. So we can start our discussion. And let me start with the lady of our company. Let me start with Ericsson. Let me start with Mrs. Maria Boura, with a long experience in the ICT industry in Greece and abroad. She is currently Director, Government and Industry Relations and Innovation at Ericsson, recognized by the market as ICT Executive Woman of the year 2018 on the occasion of the 25 years of mobile telephony in Greece. She is a distinguished international Ericsson spokesperson, let's say. So the first question for you, Maria, Mrs. Boura, can you please tell us the story behind the specific case? What is exactly that has been done here and what was Ericsson's role in it? The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Maria, for introducing me and for giving me this opportunity to tell a story, because it's a nice story, I think. Actually, it all started back in 2018. I think it was mid to end 2018. And as I am a quite avid social media prosumer, I usually navigate and I like technology issues. So I started seeing in LinkedIn a lot of information coming up to my flow regarding a Greek company which was called Gizelis Robotics, and they were active, very active in industrial robotics in Greece and abroad. And I was really positively surprised and very curious to learn more about them, to see what they are doing. And also it was the time that we were starting talking about 5G, and we were looking around to see use cases that could be relevant. So the opportunity came in the beginning of 2019, when we were preparing for the 4th annual business forum of the Hellenic-Swedish Chamber of Commerce at that time. One of the sessions would be about robotics, automation, and AI. So this gave us the perfect opportunity to contact Mr. Gizelis and ask him if he would like to be one of the speakers, of course, and explain to us about what his company is doing in Greece and abroad. And he did accept. That was the start of a closer relationship, because following that, we asked them if they would like us to go and visit them and discuss and explain to them what is 5G and why is it interesting for industrial automation and smart manufacturing, and how it could be combined with what they were doing in their company. And they were very open. They invited us to their factory in Schematari and they gave us a tour. We were impressed about what we saw, a very good team of people, experts in their field, and really looking forward very much. So, and we did present 5G. It was the first time they were getting in contact with the technology, the mobile technology from our side. And they were impressed equally as we were with what we were doing. And we said, okay, then we have to collaborate. We have to do something. So do you have a customer, maybe a factory, in Greece, that we could apply that and we could try this and do a project around it? And yes, they said immediately, yes, we do. We have a state-of-the-art new factory that is being done right now with a fully automated production line with robotics from Kalpak. For Kalpak, they have a visionary management, and they would like to do something. So then the next step were to go and meet Kalpak. And we did discuss about 5G and what 5G could do, and what we had seen from our own use cases that we were running across the globe with other companies. And they got excited as well. And then we said, okay, now it's time to pull it together and set up a project. So we brought in the partner for the industrial IoT and augmented reality platforms, and we contacted our biggest and the most innovative customer, Cosmote. And of course, how could they say no in such a team? I mean, they were also excited together with us. And they said, yes, okay, let's go, let's do it. And the rest is basically history. I mean, that's how it all started. And we set up this project. And now we're very happy that because we are starting seeing the results of this project. And I'm sure Mr. Konstantinidis is going to tell us more about exactly what we are doing in the factory and how useful it can be for them. But before closing the answer, I'd like to say what we learned through this process is that, Mr. Gizelis, they know a lot. They know everything about industrial automation and using robotics in a production line. And we knew everything about mobile connectivity and what you can do with 4G and 5G and private networks, and the same Cosmote. And then Kalpak knew everything they need to know about their customers. So we all had a piece of the puzzle. And it was very, very important to collaborate. And we see this collaboration need coming in again and again, and we'll see that with 5G. And I think that fits very well with what Mr. Georgakakis said before, that the Festos Fund is aiming exactly that, to bring together and to create a 5G ecosystem for doing these kind of projects, and not as a one only, but industrialize, commercialize, and go out of Greece as well.
Thank you very much, Maria. And the way you say this project with such inspiring and positive way, I think everybody would like to be on board. Thank you so much for your first answer. And let me carry on with Kalpak. Let me carry on with Kostis Konstantinidis. Kostis Konstantinidis is the CEO and one of the two owners of the company. Kalpak is one of the biggest manufacturers of solar heating systems worldwide. It's very famous, of course, in Greece. Everybody has seen a Kalpak διαφήμιση. Πώς λέγεται διαφήμιση? Διαφήμιση. And I would like to carry on with a question to you, Kostis, Mr. Konstantinidis. So why did you introduce fourth industrial revolution to your factory, and which were your first steps, and can you give us a brief description of that?
Thank you, Maria. I would like to welcome everybody. And in a few words, I would like to tell my story. So 2 years ago, I heard some definitions, about the 4.0 industry. And it said, it's an application of AI, cyber-physical systems, and the IoT, being able to attach internet connections to anything you use. And then I heard another definition about what is a smart factory. It is a flexible system that can self-optimize performance across a broader network, self-adapt to and learn from new conditions in real time, and autonomously run entire production processes. And my first reaction was, what is all that? So many unknown words. But these unknown words excited me. I felt something churning in my stomach. So at first I didn't understand, but then I realized why. It's because I love technology. I love innovation through science. And most important, I love the journey. From the beginning, I knew that it wasn't a lonely journey. I had to share this enthusiasm with the whole organization of Kalpak. So when I shared the vision with the people, of course, they were confused at the beginning, but I felt their curiosity. I saw them responding to our stimulus. And I think it was the time that we ignited the fire inside them. So it's more it's an internal process, I could say, not an external one. We are talking about a revolution. I mean, you cannot buy a revolution. A revolution goes straight to the heart and comes from the heart. So when I mean heart, I mean the heart of the whole organization. So when they started the journey, we didn't know where that would lead us. It's not a predefined path. No, we paved the way by walking. So the first step was to accept the challenge and kickstart the pilot project with the other partners which are in the panel. So we have already invested, as Maria said, to the two very automated production lines with Mr. Gizelis and his company. The one is a cell, very automated and without any operator for producing collectors, and one semi-automated for solar boilers. So we faced many problems despite all this automation, because automation, as we know, is the third revolution. And we had some problems for unplanned stops. We had the slow cycles. We had the defective products, lack of raw materials at the right place. So, and we couldn't monitor, the production. We didn't know anything about the OEE. OEE is the overall equipment effectiveness. This is an index that shows the percentage of manufacturing time that is truly productive. And this is the time that the customers are willing to pay for. This is the time that gives added value to the product. So installing all these smart sensors, we collect all this data from the robots. We're now able, with some dashboards from PDC, to show in line the whole production. So that helps us, of course, to take the right decisions and make plans for the future. Also, we now have a predict maintenance using machine learning, and by exploiting the enormous amount of data that we collect and stored in the cloud, Now, we learn the behavior of the machine. And from data of the past, now we can predict the future. Now we can, for example, prevent some breakdowns of the machine. So that, of course, saves us time, lowers the waste, and increase quality and productivity. And on top of that, we do that all paperless. No more handwritten notes and cards that are hidden in a drawer. Okay. We use tablets where we can send all the information directly to the workstation, to the operator, and it can be accessed from everybody and from anywhere. So the second technology, as Maria said, it's called augmented reality. This enables us to virtually train our personnel and endow them with new skills at very high speed. Now, with smart glasses, we can give pre-written instructions, and the operator, in front of his eyes, he says all the actions he can do in a work that has never done before, for example. So these glasses connects the real world with the virtual one. Also, you know, sometimes he can ask for help for an expert, which is outside the factory. So the expert can interact by designing on the laptop. And it's like having, you know, the expert has the brain outside and he moves the hands from the operator that he's on site. All this to say that there are huge benefits, you know, to read from AR, and that's what they are doing in Galpak. Those were the first two steps, and of course they are meant to come, and we are designing the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And before giving the floor to Mr. Evangelos Gizelis, I have to add that Gizelis Robotic is the most dynamic robotic solution company in Greece, as you all know, offering products and solutions in a variety of industrial applications. As part of Industry 4, it provides both unique and on-demand robotic solutions, as well as combined robotic and artificial intelligence solutions for the Greek and international industry. Gizelis Robotic is in the top 5 newly established robotic companies in the world for industrial application, among almost 600 companies. With all this very impressive CV of the company, actually, and yourself, of course, Mr. Gizelis, the floor is yours. The floor is yours. Next year, a floor. This year, the floor.
Good evening to all of you. This is an amazing journey which we are all part, and we have made a very big effort so to build and to manage this first smart factory in Greece. And it is a nice story because Kostis and Kalpak, they began many years ago just by buying one single robot. This was the start. Kostis bought one welding robot, and after this first welding robot, right now, he is the owner of a high-tech smart factory where approximately more than 30 robotic arms are working inside, making all the processes automated. But the most important is that we have managed to apply the essence of Industry 4. That means the gathering of the information of the manufacturing data in a platform, so to be able to guide all this information to other systems of Kalpak company, which they will manage, and they will arrange to give extra effort, and of course, as a result, they are going, all the systems and all the processes manage to work better with efficiency and safety, of course. Concerning the smart factory in the era of the fourth industrial revolution, you know that all global manufacturers are striving to gain competitive advantages by applying cutting-edge technologies such as the Internet of Things, robotics, artificial intelligence, big data, and cyber-physical systems. In the manufacturing industry, the smart factory is considered the final stage of the fourth industrial revolution. Manufacturing companies are pursuing breakthroughs by introducing various advanced technologies to ensure their competitiveness. However, it is difficult for small and medium-sized enterprises to adopt smart factory technologies, owing to financial and, of course, technical burdens. A smart factory is developed to remotely diagnose the conditions of production sites and predict future conditions, as well as to engage in the entire plant operation process from product design and production to logistics and disposal. The competitive advantages we at Giselis offer as an appropriate smart factory involves applying appropriate measures in terms of cost and scale with consideration of the situation faced by SMEs. The goal always is to build a smart factory that has all necessary functions but can be easily operated at a low cost at the same time.
Thank you for your first answer, Vangelos, Mr. Giselis, and let me carry on with OTE, with Cosmote, with Mr. Dimitris Alpeas. Dimitris is the Senior Manager, B2B Fixed Core and Connectivity Services of OTE Group. OTE Group, as you all know, is the biggest telecom provider in Greece, owning the largest fixed and mobile network amongst our clients. Moreover, it is one of the top ICT integrators in the country. So the third question for you, Dimitris, is what is the role of networks, fixed and mobile, to this kind of projects, and how do you think networks can contribute in the post-crisis era in the Greek economy? The floor is yours.
Thank you, Maria. Good evening to all. The foundation of a smart factory is a stable network. The network connection between the network of things and the backend server must correspond to the requirements of the applications. Data for remotely controlled machines has to be transmitted extremely quickly and reliably. In addition, a smart factory needs a network that simultaneously can support a high number of terminals. And all of these requirements are also increasingly becoming mobile. As a result, radio communication instead of classic cables become more important. The majority of network things in Industry 4.0 are still communicating at close range with over Wi-Fi, but the technology is reaching its limits. At the same time, the transmission quality of wireless communication is improving. Mobile communications provide higher performance and simple connectivity options. The advantages of a mobile network infrastructure to this kind of projects are critical. First of all, the network provides flexibility, simple networking mobility applications that are difficult to reach by cable. Reliability with defined transmission quality for critical application. Security with strong protection by isolating private data traffic with a public mobile network. Scalability with easy networking of the entire company site and a large number of terminal and devices. And the network is also powerful with very high bandwidth and low latency for time-critical and data-intensive applications. This kind of network can play the role of a platform on top of which such innovative solutions that we are talking about can be implemented. And these kind of characteristics are also essential part of many other innovative solutions in the other sectors, in any other sector. That's why we are implementing a massive investment plan, both in fixed and mobile networks, with investments over 5 billion euros for the last 10 years and over 2 billion euros for the next 4 years. Today, we provide fiber infrastructure to over 3.4 million businesses and households in Greece. Our mobile network is the largest and fastest network in Greece, providing 99% of 4G coverage. Only during the last 3 years, we have increased that network capacity by 100%. During last December, we also launched 5G network, and we plan to provide 50% of coverage by the end of this year. We strongly believe that this investment plan will play a critical part in the sustainable growth of the economy, as well as the digital transformation of our society in general.
Thank you for your first answer. So let me switch the order now. The next question is for Evangelos Gizelis. And I will ask him the following. Evangelos, Mr. Gizelis, do you believe that there is an ample room for upgrading the Greek, European and international industry in the near future from the implementation of integrated automation and robotic system? And what's the role of 5G networks in this direction?
Yes, this is a very good question. I have to answer, which is the role of the 5G, which is the collaboration of the 5G in terms of robotic automation. The combination of robotics, machine intelligence and 5G networks will really provide a wealth of opportunities for cooperation of both in Greece and worldwide markets between robots and humans that can improve productivity and speed up delivery of services for citizens. High-quality wireless connectivity is essential to the manufacturing digital plant concept. Wired connectivity with its complex cabling would not be feasible in this type, ever-changing environment due to the fact that the cable upgrading entails high operational expenditure. The 5G wireless connectivity must connect all physical elements of a production plant with machine elements that are able to collect and process huge amounts of data, or with a cloud that is responsible for those operations. Communications among all these elements must work in a challenging environment and distributed over a large area that could span several buildings. While LTE connectivity is robust and capable enough to cope with that environment today, stringent latency requirements will soon demand 5G connectivity for small, medium-sized or large industries. As a conclusion, robots and 5G systems will be used to provide cloud robotics with the necessary connectivity, but 5G is the target technology truly capable of delivering the performance needed to support the applications of the future we will build for Greece and abroad.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have, let's say, 8 more minutes. So let's try to be very concise to our answers in order, to not to run out of time. Okay, let me carry on with Kalpak. The next question is for Kalpak. Do you think that medium-sized enterprises can transform themselves into smart business, and what is the role of people into that?
Yes, I think they can, and they should.
How?
Because it's time to change these fundamental, business models. Because if they don't, the market will whip them out.
Yeah.
So, but you're going to hear many things about the different technologies. For me, the most important element is the people to this new change. The world changing is scary. You have to ask people to think out of the box, to think different, to be innovative. And of course, this is very difficult to do. Box is safe. We can do, you know what to face. The unknown is scary. So how do we break these boundaries? We need to inspire people, diverse formation, and to agree with them that no system and no machine can be as flexible and as creative as human beings. We need to, value long thinking to take us far. So now that the people are going to interact with intelligent machines, and they're going to have so many information in front of them, they will have to have, this creative thinking in order to transform this information to knowledge and to wisdom. The fourth industrial revolution is based on data. If you understand data, you see patterns and you see harmonies. And for me, it's like music. So I believe we need more composers than instrument players. So at the same time, tight cluster of staff allows more time for leadership and empathy. These are, other skills that has to be developed and cultivated. So you're going to ask me, what did you do in Kalpak to inspire? So as a first move, when we designed our new offices, at the ground floor, we had a big area. So in case to make just a showroom, on the one side, we showcase the products, and we showcase the products that were produced of these intelligent machines, robots from Mr. Gizelis. And we gave from the other, hall, we gave the same raw material, which is copper, which is steel, which is aluminum, and we gave this raw material to some young artists, and they did some sculptures. So, and we presented, we established an art gallery. So on the one side, we show, what with the same material, what the robots can do, and on the other side, what the human creativity can do, and compare them. So that was the first move to inspire people, from the organization, and to welcome the fourth industrial revolution, and to, of course, also to remind them that the work is also fun. So I encourage all, the companies to enjoy the ride.
Thank you very much. Λοιπόν, who is now is Cosmote, and I would like to ask you, apart from a network provider, what could be the role of Tech Group in the Industry 4.0 in the digital transformation journey of business in the Greek market, especially now?
Over the past years, the Tech Group has implemented numerous landmark ICT projects in public and in private sector, in Greece and abroad. Projects like e-prescription, digital signature, COVID registry, even some smart city projects that change radically the way citizens interact with the public sector, and also digitally transformed aspects of the public sector. In the private sector, we have implemented several projects with huge groups like Coca-Cola, Eurobank, Fraport, supporting them into their digital transformation journey. So to answer your question, Maria, straightforward, our role as OTE Group is the role of integrator in such complex ICT projects, combining network, IT infrastructure, and business applications. We aim to be the partner of choice for Greek businesses, empowering them to lead in their industry. And how do we manage that? Through collaboration, as Maria said. We have an extensive ecosystem of partners, and as Maria said also, the case of Kalpak with Gizelis Robotics, Ericsson, and PTC is another proof of what cooperation of important and skillful players in the market can deliver.
Great. So I think this must be the last question, and it will be for Ericsson. And after each of you will have just 1 minute for closing, because we have to give it in 2 minutes. So let me carry on with Maria. Why are cellular private networks important in smart manufacturing industry 4.0 and other digital transformation projects, and what are the advantages over other technologies?
First of all, let me start by saying that we at Ericsson, we take our own medicine. So we have already smart factories in Nanjing, in China, in Estonia, and lately in Texas, in the US, the first fully automated 5G smart factory. So we've seen the tangible benefits you get back will establish in these private networks. But if we go to manufacturing in particular, which is it's an industry that brings in about 16% of the global GDP, according to the World Bank. So it is one of the foundations of the global economy. In Greece, this number is about 9.5% of Greece's GDP, but 1/3 of the jobs. So we understand that it's really important to resolve the issues that manufacturing is facing. And manufacturing in the last few years has been facing a number of challenges. The three most important is, first of all, starting from the end customer. The customer has an ever-increasing need for customized products. They want customization in a large scale, and that means you have to have a very flexible production, easy to rearrange as you need in order to do this production. Second, they are experiencing falling productivity. I mean, they have applied all these Six Sigma and lean processing and so on, but it doesn't give back any more yield. So they need to go a step further. They need to find ways to increase further productivity. And last but not least, as the factors become connected, cyber attacks become a problem and security becomes a key issue. For these reasons, for these main reasons, they need, manufacturers of today and tomorrow, they need to secure a high level of flexible, secure, and reliable automation. And this in turn requires a very robust, dedicated, as Dimitri said before, wireless connectivity. And such connectivity can only be provided with 4G and 5G private cellular networks, because they can provide the highest level of security. They are designed for security according to the 3GPP standard. They can provide predictable, high quality connectivity with near zero latency and very high speed and highest performance, even in high device density situation where you have many sensors in a small area and very high data volumes to move around, as Mr. Giseli said before, and seamless mobility. So you can even reach connected parts that are far away and cannot be, moving parts, and you can connect them. So this is why we believe that 4G and 5G private campus networks is the future, and we are going to see a proliferation of such networks in the years to come, both in Greece and abroad.
Thank you, Maria. Okay, let's have one last comment and actually question. Each of you have 1 minute for last comment, let's say. Let me start with Kalpak, with Mr. Konstantinidis.
No, it's as I said, it's a very interesting journey, and we have a not redefined path. So we have designed the first 2 steps, and now we are with a lot of enthusiasm. We're waiting for the second and the third, and the fourth. I don't have any comments. We have great partners, because we have to ask help outside our factory, because the trouble is, you can break the boundaries of a factory. For Industry 4 is about all the supply chain, for the customers, for the suppliers, and there are enormous things to do. We are thrilled that we are in this train. And I would like to thank the panel. I would like to thank everybody for watching us. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Giselius.
If I heard well from Maria, she said about Ericsson that they have fulfilled the smart factory in Texas and in China, but not in Europe. So that means that we are the first European smart factory of Ericsson, and we are very proud about this. Even we are living in Greece, and they are all considering Greece as a touristic country, and the great industry of Greece is tourism. We are proving that there is an industry, significant scientists that they can perform better than the other Europeans, first. And secondly, I would like to stay to what Mr. Salpeas said about the power of collaboration, about the power of cooperation. And as Steve Jobs said, if you want to go somewhere very close and fast, it's better you go alone. But if you want to go far, it's better that you get some company with you. Thank you very much. It was really a very good and amazing discussion.
Yeah, thank you very much. In a company with you, not going alone. Let me carry on with Cosmonte. Mr. Salpeas.
Yeah, I would like to quote the host, Maria, you, and saying the more G's, the merrier. But I would like to say also that we believe that 5G will be a step change to many sectors of the economy. There will be solutions for airports, for port terminals with higher resolution video streaming on the move, automatic guided vehicles, emergency response units, as well as public safety groups. So there is not a doubt in my mind that we are moving very fast towards a fully connected and digital society of people, businesses, and things.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mrs. Bura, Ericsson?
Thank you. And I want to close by saying that 5G is an open innovation platform with truly unique capabilities that can really catalyze and significantly accelerate digital transformation across all industries, both in Greece and abroad. It can function also as a magnet for attracting investments. And 5G is not a destination, it's a journey.
Yes, and since the last year, I'm not used to, let's say, announce good news. This discussion was a very good news for Greece. All this 5G journey, as Maria said, is a very promising news, a very promising journey. I would like to thank the panelists. It was actually very elaborative, very interesting discussion. I didn't know so many things about these things. So I think I'm better informed now, which is very important. I would like to thank the Hellenic-Swedish Chambers of Commerce. I would like to thank the Embassy of Sweden in Athens. I would like to thank our sponsors and the organizers. Thank you very much for being here with us. Good night. And let's see 2 more videos before closing.